Okay, so there we go again. Another failed trade. Yeah, so this is another failed trade. So on this one, again, I don't know if this was a failed trade that has to do with luck, that's probability or decision making, you know. But of course, for me to know, we'll have to find out. So let's go. Let's find out together. So first of all, what do? We have to go to the higher time frame to understand the reasoning for my for me selling the market instead of buying. First of all, this was on a Tuesday, just the day after the previous uh trade review I did. That was on Monday the 3rd. So today is 4th, the 4th of August 2026. So I mean, obviously on the daily time frame we were bullish. We were bullish, and the most like so obvious drawn liquidity was this high here. So I guess once that high was taken, I started looking for sales, but that is not, I mean, an advice I'm giving to you. I mean, you can't do that, you know. So it's very, very important for you to understand the high time frame objective narrative, the order flow. So right now the order flow has changed. Remember when I told you, the the point of interest, this imbalance is here. Price kept respecting the imbalances, hence the reason for this up move, and there is even higher time frame SMT with the previous month low with ES and no, not ES, I think it was with okay, yeah, it was with ES. Yeah, definitely ES and the YM. The previous month low SMT. So that's also a confluence, not the reason for the reversal, but it's also a confluence, you know. So basically the higher time frame is bullish, so you are best of doing, trying to buy, not selling. Just look for opportunities to buy, until proven otherwise. So on the 4 hour, remember when I yesterday I talked about this being my drawn liquidity on the 4 hour. That's yeah, the drawn liquidity we marked out. So here you see price closed above and then retested it for a continuation. So automatically this becomes a 4 hour point of interest to buy, you know. We also have this inversion fair value gap. Price, this is on a daily. Price closed above, and then we'll have to use it for continuation. So we can extend that to the right. So we have all this, POI stacking in one place. So obviously we want to keep it simple. So we'll just take out the 4 hour because the daily is obviously stronger than the 4 hour. So we'll take out this 4 hour and then we'll keep the daily. All right, so moving on. So this is a 1 hour. 1 hour. I mean, if price was down here, this was a obvious drawn liquidity. So if price was down here and time for me to trade came, I would be targeting this high, and I'll be done once that high was, met. So but obviously on the 1 hour, on the 1 minute time frame, the market just opened opened and then just ripped higher. So I like there was no room for me to enter. I couldn't get an entry though. I couldn't get an entry, no reasonable entry for me. So market ripped higher. Um, the drawn liquidity was already reached that high. That's uh high time frame high. It was already reached. But bear it in mind, don't forget that the higher time frame order flow is bullish. So you just don't force the market to sell. Don't try to bend the market to do what you want. You don't tell the market what to do. You don't do what you think. You just have to follow the market, follow the rhythm. The market is buying. You just have to, just look for buys. You know, and I know it's kind of hindsight saying, yeah, obviously the market is buying. Just look for buys. Easy to say, you know, but most of the time, get tempted to do otherwise. Yeah, but I would just say this was a decision failure, not probability, the decision failure. So yeah, I should just look for buys, look for buys until higher time frame tells me it doesn't want to buy anymore. Because right now it just feels like what's telling me that he doesn't want to buy anymore is the lower time frame. Meanwhile, the just look at the 1 hour time frame. You know, strong bullish candle closed above the draw on liquidity. So this is obviously very bullish. So you want to just continue looking for buys. Just look for buys. Don't sell. You know. So if you can't look for buys, just don't trade. If there is no good entry, don't trade. You know. So again, this is a decision failure, not a probability failure or luck failure. So yeah. So again, it's important for you to follow price and don't try to tell price what to do or what you think should be done, because obviously on the lower time frame all these things look good, like a trend line liquidity, right, to just come down here and take all the liquidity. It looks good logically, it looks good, but just look at the 1 minute, the 1 hour. The 1 hour is straight bullish. All those things on the 1 minute time frame doesn't even, like, is invisible. It's not even noticed at all. You know. So yeah, paying attention to the higher time frame, like the narrative on the higher time frame, the order flow, is very essential. We only switch buyers when the higher time frame order flow has changed. As of now, it hasn't changed, so we are still bullish. So I guess I was just trying to, you know, maybe do lower time frame order flow instead of higher time frame order flow, and that's not pretty good. So pay attention to that. Higher time frame order flow first and foremost. Look at here. This is order flow, institutional order flow. And what I mean here is higher time frame order flow, not even anything lower time frame. This is higher time frame order flow first. Then, drawn liquidity or POI, market maker, buy model to sell model to buy model all the time. All right. So, I mean, you could say there are several entries here, several entries. Could have done, uh, could have done, little market maker buy models, in a 5 second chart. This could be a potential good one. Yeah. Uh, Original consolidation, smart money reversal here from this imbalance, you know, target the high, Same thing here. Accumulation, reversal, target the high, you know. So that was if I was, just concentrated on buying, if I wasn't trying to force anything, if I wasn't trying to, tell market what to do. So basically, it's very important for you to, be aware when you're like, when that the inner voice in your head is trying to tell you or tell the market what to do instead of doing what the market is saying or following what the market is doing. So it's very important. So high time frame, higher time frame, order flow first and foremost all the time. So when you get on the chart, ask yourself, what is the market doing? Like, what's the higher time frame order flow? So once you know the higher time frame order flow, just look to get in line with the higher time frame order flow. All right. So yeah. So that will be it for this one. On to the next one.